Good morning, students. Yesterday we learned about how important is the rule in our daily life. Without rule, we can't play any games. Okay? Yesterday we learned about that. Today we are going to learn about how the Indian Constitution help us. Today, most countries in the world have a constitution, while all democratic countries are likely to have a constitution. It is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution are democratic. The constitution serves several purposes. First, it lays out certain ideas that form the basis of the kind of country that we as a citizen aspire to live in. Or put another way, a constitution tells us what the fundamental nature of our society is. So the first is the fundamental nature, of the society. Constitution tells us the fundamental nature of our society. A country is usually made up of different communities of people who share certain beliefs but may not necessarily agree on all issues. Because in our country there is a diversity. Different religious groups are there. Different communities are there, and sometimes they share their belief, but it is not necessary that they will agree on all the bases, okay, or all the issues. A constitution helps serve as a set of rules and principles that all persons in the country can agree upon as the basis of the way in which they want the country to be governed. This includes not only the types of government but also an agreement on certain ideas that they all believe they should uphold. Let's try and understand what we mean by this through two contrasting situations in the recent history of Nepal. You know that where is the Nepal? A country that borders India on the north. You know that in the north there is Nepal. So, until recently, Nepal was a monarchy. Monarchy means you learn in previous or in standard 7 that monarchy means a government where supreme power rests only in king or queen's hand. That's called monarchy. And recently there was monarchy. Until recently, Nepal was a monarchy. The previous constitution of Nepal, which had been adopted in 1990, and in 1990 there was a constitution. Nepal adopted a constitution in 1990, but in that constitution there was supreme power or supreme authority rests only in king's or queen hand. This final order or final supreme authority only rests only in king's hand. That was the constitution which was adopted in 1990. Reflected the fact that the final authority rested with the king. A people's movement in the Nepal fought for several decades to establish democracy, and in 2006 they finally succeeded in putting an end to the powers of the king. And in 2006, after long battle, the people overthrew monarchy and they established their democracy. In 2006 they adopted, there was a democracy government. But in 1990 there was a monarchy government. Okay. They finally succeeded in putting an end to the power of the king. The people had to write a new constitution to establish Nepal as a democracy. And in 2006, when they overthrew monarchy and they established democracy government in Nepal, then they write another constitution. They rejected that monarchy constitution and they adopted democracy constitution based on the democracy. The reason that they did not want to continue with the previous constitution is why? Because it did not reflect the ideals of the country that they want Nepal to be and that they have fought for. So they fought for their rights. Okay, and so that in 2006 they adopted democracy government. Until 1990 there was a monarchy government, and in 2006 they adopted new constitution based on democracy. As in the game of football, in which a change in the constitutive rules will change the game altogether. Nepal, by moving from a monarchy to a democratic government, needs to change all its constitutive rules, all the constitutive rules, in order to reach a new society. This is why the people of Nepal adopted a new constitution for the country in 2015. And in 2015, they adopted new constitution based on democracy. Okay? Democracy. In 2015, Nepal adopted a new constitution. The caption alongside elaborates Nepal's struggle for democracy. Okay, that is about how they learn, how they fight to establish democracy in Nepal. The second important purpose of our constitution is to define the nature of a country's political system. First we learn that the fundamental nature of the society. Okay, and now political system. How is the political system in the country? It was the second important feature. First important feature was the fundamental nature of the society. Okay. The second important purpose of a constitution is to define the nature of a country's political system. For example, Nepal's earlier constitution stated that the country was to be ruled by the king and his council of ministers. In countries that have adopted a democratic form of government or polity, the constitution plays a crucial role in laying out certain important guidelines that govern decision making within these societies. You know that in the monarchy government there is no chance, means people were not involved in the decision making process. They have to follow only king's order. Means people don't have any choice. They are not participate in the decision making process. But in a democratic government, people always participate in the democratic government. They choose their leader by casting their votes. Okay? And so their democracy is very important. We choose our leaders so that they can exercise power responsibly on our behalf. Okay. We choose our representative and we send it to the parliament on the behalf of common people. Okay. We casting vote, we choose our representative and our representative is sent to the parliament. Okay, and they work as a behalf of common people in our behalf. However, there is always the possibility that these leaders might misuse their authority, and the constitution usually provides safeguards against this in democracy. Sometimes, if what happens if leaders they misuse their powers by casting our vote, we choose our representative and we send them in a parliament. But sometimes, if our leaders they misuse their powers, then what to do? So there is a process, okay, that how we have to remove that leaders also. However, there is always the possibility that these leaders might misuse their authority, and the constitution usually provides safeguard against this. In democratic societies, the constitution often lays down rules that guard against this misuse of authority by our political leaders. In the case of the Indian Constitution, about which you will read more later in this chapter, many of these laws are contained in the section on fundamental rights. So our constitution based on fundamental rights. Do you recall that chapter on the Dalit writer in 7th class you learned that Om Prakash Valmiki. Okay, so Om Prakash Valmiki's experience in school from your class 7 book. In that chapter we talk about the discrimination. Okay, Om Prakash faced discrimination because he was Dalit. Okay, in last year in 7th class you learned that how Om Prakash Valmiki was discriminated because he was Dalit. And in this year we will learn about our fundamental rights. So we learn that the fundamental nature of the society, and second, the political system. You read about how the Indian Constitution guarantees the right to equality to all persons and says that no citizen can be discriminated against on ground of religion, race, caste, gender and place of birth. The right to equality is one of the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. That the right to equality, that is very important. The right to equality. Right to equality. So right to equality to all persons. It says that no citizen can be discriminated against on ground of religion, race, gender and place of birth. The right to equality is one of the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. Another important function that a constitution plays in a democracy is to ensure that a dominant group does not use its power against another. A dominant group or a majority group does not use its power for minority group or other less powerful people or groups. Such unhealthy situation can occur in democratic societies too, where a majority can continuously enforce decisions that exclude minorities and go against their interest. Sometimes majority they enforce their decision on the minorities. Every society constitution usually contains rules that ensure that minorities are not excluded from anything that is routinely available to the majority. Another reason why we have a constitution is beside to prevent this tyranny or domination by the majority of a minority. Okay. Third point is that prevent tyranny. To prevent tyranny. To prevent tyranny, such types of tyranny. Okay. Every society is prone to this tyranny of the majority. Okay. Here is one. First is the fundamental nature. Second, the polity means political system. And third, to prevent tyranny, we need constitution. Every society is prone to this tyranny of the majority. The constitution usually contains rules that ensure that minorities are not excluded from anything that is routinely available of the majority. Another reason why we have a constitution is to prevent this tyranny or domination by the majority of a minority. This can refer to one community dominating another. That is intercommunity. That is called inter-community domination. There are two types of domination. First is inter-community domination. Inter-community. Inter-community domination. Inter-community domination. Okay. So there is two types of, and second is intra-community. Intra-community and inter-community. There are the two types of domination. Inter-community domination and intra-community domination. These are the two types of domination. Okay. Or inter-community, and intra-community. Okay. Inter-community domination means what? A community group dominate to other community. This can refer to one community dominating another. Okay, that is called intercommunity. One community dominating another community, that is called inter-community domination. And second, are members of one community dominating others within the same community, that is intra-community domination. Intra-community means in the same community, members they dominate to their community members. That is called intra-community. Means it happen in their same community. And inter-community domination means what? It happen in other community. One community dominate to other community, that is called inter-community, and in the same community, a community members dominate to others community members in the same community, that is called intra-community domination. Inter-community domination, there are different communities, but in intra-community, they are in the same community members dominate to other members in the same community. That is called intra-community domination. And the third significant reason why we need a constitution is to save us from ourselves. This may sound strange, but what is mean by this? That we might at times feel strongly about an issues that might go against our larger interests, and the constitution help us guard against this. So the third important is that constitution save us. Constitution safeguard our rights. So that is very important, that this is very important, that constitution safeguard not only minorities but all the people's rights. It is for today. Tomorrow we will see new topic. Thank you very much.